Ja. Godina secondo.
Madonna, quanto mi sarà un brodino adesso. I love a brodino.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to put up a quick disclaimer on the screen. This is just to say that this will be recorded and sent to our YouTube live channel. If you prefer not to be recorded, we kindly ask that you leave now, and if it will be possible to mute and disable your video as well. Thank you so much. I'll hand over to Ursula.
Hello, everybody. I'm really delighted to introduce you to Kévin Germanier from the brand Germanier. Kévin and I have known each other for a while. We met in Hong Kong for the Redress Design Awards when he won gloriously. And we've remained connected, closely connected ever since. I find his collections super interesting, his honesty completely empowering, and the way that he's working really representing how we could be moving forward. So I'm really delighted that you're in our Fashion Open Studio program, Kévin, and over to you.
Thank you. Hi guys, I'm Kévin Germanier. My brand name is Germanier. I'm Swiss, but my brand is established in Paris. I studied at Central Saint Martin's, and I'm super excited to join Fashion Open Studio to show a little bit more about the way we work and where we source our material. This conversation we're gonna have today, it's mainly about behind the sparkle, what is behind all the glamour that we are doing. And I'm very happy to have Ursula with me today. She gave me this opportunity. We're just gonna jump in. I made a little presentation for you guys. So let me share my screen. There we go. And here, oops, sorry. This one, there we go. All right, so we're gonna start. The way I'm gonna talk is that I'm gonna give you guys a little introduction of what we are doing. Then I'm gonna talk about the material that we're using at Germanier. It goes from Swarovski crystal to sequins to upcycled material. I'm gonna show also our clients, the way we work with our VIP clients. And then we're gonna go a little bit deeper. We're gonna talk about Bjork, Sunmi, and Kristen Stewart, the way we dress them and how we made their sustainable red carpet or performance look. And if we still have some time, we'll do a Q&A. Can everyone hear me well and see my screen? I think everyone is okay. Good, perfect. All right, so I graduated from Central Saint Martin's in 2017. Before graduating, I got a job at Louis Vuitton, but I promised my mom and my dad I will finish my studies, so I did. And then I moved to Paris to be a junior designer of bags. And I was working on everything that was the permanent collection. Once in Paris, I was still making clothes as a hobby. Some people are reading, some people are painting. Making clothes is just my passion. So that's what I was doing basically. And my dear friend, Alexandre Capelli from LVMH, who is the manager and director of the sustainability at LVMH, told me, it's such a shame that you're doing all those clothes at home. You should just show them to the world. So I showed my first collection. It was in February 2018. Natalie Kingham from Matches Fashion came to the presentation and she bought everything. So that's how I started Germanier. I never considered myself as a sustainable person, as an upcycler. It's really Ursula who told me, by the way, did you know that you are upcycling? And I felt like on the market, there were it was missing this brand that is making clothes that are sparkly, shiny, sexy, feminine. Because when we think about sustainability, we think that it's organic cotton or a t-shirt that says stop killing the trees. There's nothing wrong with that aspect, but I really wanted to show them that it can also be the crystal, the glamour. So that's a little bit about my brand. And now I want to go deeper with the material that we are using. I started using beads when I was in Hong Kong. As you can see on here, on the picture with the orange beads, some of the orange beads are lighter and some others are darker. It's because they have been exposed to the sun and the color faded. Therefore, no one wants to use beads that are already faded. I found them on the street in Hong Kong. This guy was actually digging a hole because he wanted to get rid of them. If you want to get rid of glass beads, you have to put all the yellow beads together, the pink beads together, the blue beads together, and then you have to melt them again to create new beads. It's a very expensive process. So the easier way to get rid of them is just to hide them under the dirt, basically. So I saved them, and I also use sequins, is the second picture on your screen. Those sequins are on roll and they have been exposed to the sun in the window. So the outside of the sequin roll is lighter than the inside of the sequin roll. Therefore, nobody wants to buy something that is already damaged. And what they are doing, they're just getting rid of them as well. It's the same factory that is doing the beads. So in the beginning, they thought I was a journalist. I wanted to write a story, how bad what they were doing. It was, they were very scared, but I told them, no, I actually want to buy those from you. And then we started to have a conversation, and I've been working with them for 6 seasons now. I wrote unconventional material because what we do at Germany is that we are not only using fabric or beads or sequins. Some season I can upcycle old brooches, old jewelry. We also use plastic bags sometimes. So I always like to look at unexpected material and how we can upcycle them and give them the wow factor back. On the picture that you have on your screen is the brooches that we used last season. Of course, to make garment and clothes, we need fabric. So what I'm doing, I'm using end of stock, dead stock, end of roll. It could be from Paris, from London. It could be a donation from another designer. It could also be directly from LVMH stock. Because Alexandre Capelli is helping us. It could come also from Busan in Korea. So in the beginning, it was very interesting because I was starting upcycling like maybe 2 meters of organza from Paris, but now we reached the point where we are in conversation with big houses and they want to give us 50 meters of silk organza. So I think it's I feel very grateful that we've established our brand quite well right now. So people are willing to participate to the Team Germanier journey with us. Another fabric that I personally love to use is the Swarovski crystals. I personally did not know that Swarovski had a green stock, that's how they call it. If you want to use Swarovski, you can go to their normal stock and you can choose the color, you can choose the size of the beads, but it's not what we're doing at Germanier. So they have a green stock, which include all the leftover Swarovski crystal that they are not using anymore because maybe it's color that didn't sell that well, so they are not producing it anymore. It's still very qualitative. They're not broken. It's just that they carry a huge stock, and I feel like it just gave a very positive image to say, well, listen, we have waste. Instead of wasting them, we are asking new designer to use them. So I just wanted to put that on my material board to talk a little bit about this because the dress from Kristen Stewart is made with Swarovski. So then I will talk more about the way we work with Swarovski on that note later. The last thing that we are doing at Germanier is that we go vintage shopping. We have Emmaus, Caritas. I remember when I was a student, I was going to Brick Lane in London, and I was upcycling duvet cover. It could be an old blanket. It really started like that. And what I love about upcycling is that when you look at our dresses, it's completely different than what the material were in the first place. For what I mean by that is that that shirt on the picture, it's a Ralph Lauren shirt, will become a skirt. And I really like to tell the story behind that, behind the garments, because I do think that it adds value. And for me, I was talking yesterday with the Fashion Revolution team. I strongly believe that the new luxury is transparency. Let's talk a little bit about our clients. I have two boards. I put the one that I think were the most relevant for our talk today. We work with Taylor Swift, who has a 131 million followers on Instagram. We had Lady Gaga, Tracy Ellis Ross, Kristen Stewart, Bjork, and Alicia Dixon. So all those VIP clients that we are focusing on today, I really want to highlight the fact that most of their stylists knew that Germanier was a sustainable brand, and that's why they reach out to us. It's very important that those people, imagine Taylor Swift with 131 million followers on Instagram, her influence that she had. I do strongly believe that what we miss sometimes is the work of the stylist behind those stars. They are selecting what they will wear. So I just want to say thank you to those stylists if they're watching today. But I just wanted to put that out. We are thinking most of the time of Lady Gaga, Taylor Swift, Kristen Stewart, so those American huge stars. But at Germanier, we also work very closely with the K-pop industry. And we worked with Twice, who has 12 million followers, Red Velvet, 8 million, Sunmi, 6 million, Sunmi, 6 million. Just to show you that nowadays, I strongly believe that you cannot think only about one part of Earth anymore, if that makes any sense. What I love about what we're doing at Germany is that we are trying to reach out from America to Europe to Asia. And those clients are very close to my heart because I am a K-pop fan myself. So I think it's just feel like it came full circle. That's all with the clients. Now let's just talk a little bit more in depth about Bjork. I choose Bjork because we dressed her twice. The very first time we dressed Bjork, it was for her cover of her album Utopia. And it was in 2017, and she wore a dress made out of beads from my BA collection at Central St. Martin's. At the time, as you can imagine, it's a student dress, so the finishing are what they are because we have 3 months to make a collection at Central St. Martin's. But I remember Edda, who is her stylist, told me, oh, could you tell me more a little bit about how you made the garments? Because she read that it was sustainable, but she didn't know how beads can be sustainable. So I told her what I just told you earlier, that those beads are from Hong Kong. I show her the pictures, why the orange here is lighter than there. And she really felt like, oh, that actually adds value to that dress. And it just goes, as you may already know, Bjork, she's quite involved in anything that is, I don't want to say saving the planet, but it's something that is close to her heart as well. So it made the difference at the time, from a sequin dress to a Germanier dress. I put for you guys this case study, which is the second time we dressed Bjork. It was during her concert at We Love Green in Paris, and it was in 2018. So you have the drawing, the final drawing of the dress, and I will walk you through our process. Eda, who is our stylist of Bjork, reached out to us. She said, oh, we liked working with you last year. Could you make a custom dress for her? Stating, make it sustainable. So that was perfect. And she did say, could you use some beads that you have left over from your graduate collection? At the time, I did have a stock, so that was perfect. The way I work is that I start creating a color palette. It was the briefing that Eda gave me was, could you please get inspired by the color from this cover? She sent me the picture. So then I take the color palette out from this picture. After that, I personally did like also her Utopia music video. So I was like, maybe we can add some color from there. But also something that you have to keep in mind is that I'm using what I have. And I always told Eda, maybe I don't have turquoise beads. Maybe I don't have dusty lilac beads. So please bear in mind that I will try my best to source it, but I will never buy something for this project unless it's left over. And she really understood that. She also asked me to do for this specific concert. She wanted to have an alien vibe. It was also inspired by alien orchid. So I worked on those weird flowers. They are made out of a plastic bottle that I use a heat gun, and then I mold the shape to create those weird alienish flower. It was like a little jewelry. So I added this to my file, and then it comes the fun part, it's time to design. So I designed 2 looks for her. So as you can see, it's very different from the final outcome, but I do think that it's Fashion Open Studio. I want you guys to see that behind the sparkle and behind that picture that you will see on Instagram or on Vogue of Bjork wearing Germanier, I think it's very interesting for you guys to see how it started. It started really like being a crazy outfit. And then you will learn why the dress came more simple. Germanier simple is still very out there. But in the very beginning, it was more is more. Look number 1. I just will go quickly through the drawing. I do personally never drape or make toiles because I believe that making prototype is creating waste, and I don't really know what to do with my calicos. So the way I work is usually I really try to think about the garment while using Photoshop. It's something that I really enjoy doing. And once I have a very clear vision of what I'm gonna do, I start creating the final outfit directly. Also bear in mind that when it's a VIP, you usually have 1 or 3 days. So that ping pong email process is very intense because you send it to the stylist and then they get back to you. So it's a very intense few days. Some details about this look. I also gave 3 color options that I could do with the beads that I have. And I was actually on the phone with her telling her, because she was asking me, can you use some more yellow? But I was like, I don't have yellow beads, so that's why it's those colors. Quickly, the other look, a shorter version with a very intense and dramatic headpiece. It's very funny for me to look back at those drawings because it reminds me of all the process, and it was a very good time that we had. And I added this to my file, to my PDF file. Remember, I addressed you before, just, you know, a little bit of humor in there. So Eda got the first proposal, which led to our second proposal. She did say, you have to remember that Bjork is a performer. She will dance in there. So could you please make it more simple while keeping the flower? She did like the flower in the belt area. And she did like some of the colors. So it's the second round that comes, and it's the time of the second sketches. As you can see, it's very different, yet the same. The lines were refined. We had this big orchid in the belt area. The two first options had a leggings, and then the three other options do not have a leggings. And then I gave an option with sleeves because she also told me, could you cover her sleeve, her arms? It will be more flattering for also performing. So that's the second round. And she did like, luckily enough, she did like the very first drawing, but she did not like the colors, which leads to our third sketches, the three color options that we gave Bjork and Eda, and she chose the colors that is in the middle. So now it's time to make the dress. I put this picture because it was the day of the concert. Eda and Bjork were kind enough to ask me to come dress her personally. And I could bring my right man hand, Melvin, so it was two of us, because it was quite a complicated outfit to put on, so it was better if it was the two of us. And I just think it gave a very positive, I want to show this picture because she knew that the beads were from Hong Kong. And there's actually a picture I will show you guys later. I still remember that. And that's probably a time in my career where I felt like, oh, I'm doing something right. It was after the concert. I will just show you the picture. That's just me with the hat, my right hand, Melvin. Eda is the blonde girl, and there's Bjork walking to the stage. That's the picture after the concert. Bjork is thanking her musician. And she did say to all of them, oh, Kévin, come here. I will introduce you to everyone. And she said, oh, the beads are from Hong Kong. They're left over. They were supposed to be destroyed. And she knew the story. Everything I told you, she knew about it. So kudos to Eda for telling Bjork, and thank you, Bjork, for telling your musician and your surrounding that your outfit is sourced wealth. I think for me, it was very important that time in my career. And that's the final outfit. And that's it for Bjork. Let's jump in and talk about Sunmi. Sunmi, I've been listening to her songs for 8 years. So I'm still a fan. But it's true that the first time she wore Germanier, I did cry a little bit because for me, as I said earlier, it feels like it came full circle. We actually dressed her a few times, not only 2 times, but I just want to talk about her concert in Paris in 2019 and all the outfit we did for her La La Lay promo music video and cover. Let's talk about her Paris concert. She wore 5 outfits from Germanier because she had a different mood during her concert, but the whole concert she wore Germanier. One thing that we created for Sunmi is an outfit with glitter and satin. The satin was from Marché Saint-Pierre. And I don't know if you are familiar with these stores in Paris where it's called Sacré Coupon, and it's all dead stock. And what they do is that they cut it in 3 meters and then they just want to get rid of it. What we are doing right now with them, because we know them a lot, is that instead of cutting it 3 meter and 3 meter, they keep this for us. I just see that I have a question. Sorry. I will get back to, sorry, I mean, it's my first time with Zoom, so please excuse me about that. So I was saying this is very good for us to do that, to work with them. And we also work with t-shirt and denim that we sourced from vintage store in Paris. We had very limited time to do her outfits, so we were just like rushing around to find the material. But the issue is, sometimes where you're in a rush, it's way more convenient to go to the store and to buy what you need. But it doesn't go with the Germany message. You know, we want to be ethical. We want to show that it's possible to make it, even the time slots are very short. So we literally just went to some vintage stores in Paris, me and my team, and we find her outfit. I'll show you the picture later. And we work on a blazer and sequins. The material, as you can see, the sequins that are on the blazer and the denim skirt are the sequin roll that I was talking you about. They were sourced from Hong Kong, but because I just made my whole production with them, I was running out of them. I did not have a sequin roll anymore because I used all my stock, all the dead stock, I used it. So I was like, oh, she really wants this outfit. What shall we do? And we found in Paris those colors of the sequin roll. And I took this picture. Sorry, it's a very bad picture, but it's just to show you how those sequin roll were in the window display, and they just want to get rid of it. So we took them from there. And then after that, it's my lovely family, my grandma, my mom, my aunts, my grand aunts. It goes from all ages. My grandma is 80, she turned 80 last year. So those sequins roll are hand knitted by my knitting team that is based in Switzerland. Why I put this in these slides is just to show that yes, we're talking at Germanier about glamorous dresses. It's a performance. It's for VIP. You know, it sounds very glitz and glam. But the reality is, it has been done by my grandma, and I love that. To be honest, for me, it's really those women. They are facing issues because, for example, they lost their husband, or because they decided to be housewife and they want to find a job. They cannot, because at the time they had children, there were no iPhone, and then they want to get back into the society, but they don't know how to use an iPhone. I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. And I was like, you know what, let's give those amazing women a chance to just get back and into the society. And they just, I'm lucky enough they're all from my family, to be honest, because it's very easy to work with them. But I just think, once again, the value of an outfit is not just the final product, it's what is behind too. And I love showing those pictures because then people can really understand that this outfit that you see on the stage are made from my family. And it's very close to my heart. I really like this. The t-shirt that I was talking about earlier that we found from a vintage store, of course, we steam it, we tweak it, we made it more slim for her figure, and we added Swarovski with the Germanier logo on it. And another fabric manipulation that we did for her outfit is actually my team, Melvin and Yana. They use this satin fabric from Sacré Coupon, and we used the glitter and we painted it on it. Voila. Another case study, I'm just checking the time because I keep speaking, so I just want to make sure All right, I have a few more minutes. So this was our biggest collaboration with her because we made 4 outfits. And I think it's fair to say that it was the closest collaboration that we did, because in Korea they have a WhatsApp and the name is Kakao Talk, and Sunmi is very involved as Bjork with her image and with what she wants to wear. And she was Kakao talking me her inspiration, the color mood, and that's some of the picture that she sent it to me. She gave me these pictures and also a PDF file, but it's confidential. And unfortunately, I cannot share with you, but she allowed me to show those pictures. And she also said, I want volumes, I want ruffles. That's something she did say to me. So there was a very free briefing, to be honest. So we started creating the PDF file, the first sketches. I will go more quickly, but you have the overview of our first drawing. Bear in mind that it was during summer break. It was the time where everything is closed in Paris. And it was me, Yana, and Melvin, the 3 of us working in Paris. And if I remember well, we had only 2 weeks to make 4 outfits. So it was quite an intense summer for us. Leotards with long sleeves, short dresses, other options of short dresses with symmetric ruffles, and long dresses option. Then we applied those fabrics that she gave us to give her very quick overview of what it looks like. And then we did a few draping. Those draping, I did mention before that I do not do any prototype. What I'm using for my prototype is that I am using our leftover. This is a leftover fabric from our collection that we were doing. Sorry, my Siri just was talking. And then we drape. Then she can have a visual very quickly. This is another outfit that we were trying to do with this fabric. And let's go more deep now with the outfits that we actually made. This outfit for her cover, she was quite intense, and it's all the fabric from Marché Saint-Pierre once again. The reason why we work very well with Marché Saint-Pierre is that for when it's a performance outfit, is that you don't need to reproduce like 200 times. There's only one. However, my concern was that, she wants a lot of ruffles. And as you may know, ruffles are creating a lot of waste because when it comes to the pattern, it's the round, and then we are wasting a lot of fabric. So what we decided to do for the ruffles is that we actually created a rectangles and then we gather it. So therefore, we are not creating any waste when we are pattern cutting. So that's Melvin and Yana working on the collection. The reason why I put this picture is that you can see in the background on the dummy, the fabric that we used for her final outfit is actually a fabric that was given to us and we were toiling for the new collection. So it's very funny that an outfit worn by a VIP is actually made from our own stock. You know what I mean? I think it's a very a beautiful story that actually she gave me this pattern that she wanted us to use, and then actually I was like, oh well, I have a few meters from this stock, so we could use that. So it was perfect. I can see that the time is running out, so I will go a little bit more quickly. This outfit that we made for her, I'm not going to go through it. It's the same idea that the ruffles are made with the rectangles. But what I wanted to show you guys is that this outfit that she used for her music video, who I checked yesterday, has 19 million views right now. Because it was summer, the reality is it was Melvin and I that we had to fit. So what you guys are seeing is Sunmi dancing with the outfit, but the reality is us trying to fit because the timing is so short. Once again, it's kind of the same story as the knitters, my knitting team in Switzerland. I love showing the behind the scenes because it makes it more personal. You know what we did. We're not pretending that it has been made by whoever. I say, I tried your skirt suddenly because I had no other fitting models. And she loved that. Here's another outfit that was featured in her YouTube video. I flew to Korea to talk about her outfit. The reason why I put that in my slides is that Sunmi, as Bjork, she strongly believed that being transparent is very important. And I want to thank her for inviting me and talking about the garments that were produced for her. And this is the dress that I was telling before, that the red fabric was actually a fabric that we did use for our twirling of the season that was ongoing. And it's a photo shoot made by Lee Dong. It's actually her brother. Very quickly, I want to talk about Kristen Stewart. I think I have 5 minutes left. Kristen Stewart chose a dress for Charlie's Angels LA premiere. And she chose Germanier, which is a bold move knowing that Kristen Stewart has been wearing Chanel. She's an ambassador for them. And it's the same for Sunmi. She's a makeup ambassador for Dior. So those stars, usually the reality is that they have to wear the brand that they represent, but they choose Germanier. Her stylist reached out to me on Instagram and to my PR. And Frédéric at that time really told her, this is made with Swarovski. It's from their green stock. So the stylist knew about it. And she did tell me that's what made the difference. Those Swarovski are all from this green stock that I was telling you guys earlier. And as you can see, there's a lot of different colors. You can see better on these pictures. The reason why there's a lot of pictures, a lot of different colors, is not because I choose it. I mean, I did choose it, but it's because Swarovski do not carry enough stock to make the whole dress in red. So I had to mix and match those colors. If I don't tell you that, you just assume that's a design choice. Germanier choose to put those colors together. But the reality of it is that we did not have enough red Swarovski to make the whole dress red. And I put also this article made by Suzanne, and I did really like how people were talking about the dress that she was wearing it, and they were saying that it's sustainable. So it was kind of like the first time that they were really highlighting that. And I just wanted it to put that out there to say that the power of press and the power of the story is as important as the final product, in my opinion. And I think we can open to your questions if you have any. And yeah, sorry, Tamzin, I hope it was okay. I was like,
oh, that was fantastic, Kévin. Thank you so much. So much to talk about. Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Tamzin Blanchard. I'm a journalist and curator of Fashion Open Studio. Really happy to be here with Kévin. I think we can run a little bit over, Kévin, because our next session is on Instagram Live at 11. So yeah, we do have some questions. If we can just run through them, if we have time. So we have a question from Irene. who's thanking you
Yeah.
for an interesting and enthusiastic presentation, which it certainly was. And she's just interested in how you didn't realize you were creating in a sustainable way when you started, but it's clearly so much part of your design DNA and your personal philosophy. And Irene's wondering, was the idea of reusing and honoring existing materials something you learned or witnessed growing up?
Yeah, so I grew up in Switzerland, and the reason why I started upcycling is because when I moved from Switzerland to London, as you may know, Central Saint Martin is a great school, but it is very expensive. So I arrived in London broke. It's the reality of it. And I was upcycling duvet cover because it was cheaper than actually buying calico that is £5 a meter. You know, so it started like that. And it's actually Ursula in Hong Kong that she told me, well, you've been an upcycler since your beginning, since you moved in London, because you've been doing your prototype with duvet cover and your final outfit with at the time I had a flatmate, and she was also studying fashion at Instituto Marangoni, so she was giving me her fabric. But for me it was just a natural way of working, and I find myself, if I was going to a store and you tell me, oh, now you can choose whatever you want, I cannot. I literally, because I love working with limitation. But if it's you, Irene, asking the question, and you are giving me something, I feel way more creative, because I'm like, okay, how can I make this work? And I just want to highlight also the fact that I love working with Swarovski. Sometimes it's very tricky to make it work, because yes, you want to make the dress all red, but there's not enough red. So it's really like problem solving that I really enjoy doing. And I do think the more limited I am, the more creative I become, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Is this lockdown period making you feel very creative?
I shouldn't say that, but yes. And I would say not only as a designer, but as a CEO too, because I found myself finding solutions that I thought I would never have to, you know, how to produce this, how to source that. I'm locked down. I don't go out at all, but my production is in Shanghai and in Switzerland. So I'm used to talk with Zoom or, you know, with our phone. Yeah, I feel super creative, and yeah, I don't want to spoil, but stay tuned because there will be some more crazy knitting coming. So yeah.
Oh, exciting. Yeah. Keep us posted. I have a question from Inga, who's watching on YouTube. Hi, Inga. Yeah. She is asking, how is the Swarovski recycled?
So as I said, the Swarovski is, for example, let's say we are in 2017 and they create the color bleu azur. This bleu azur is not selling. So in 2018, a year after, they put it in their green stock. Instead of destroying it, they gave us the opportunity to use it. It's also sometimes because it has a small defect, or some of them are hot fixed, and sometimes the glue behind it is not, you know, it comes from a wide range. But most of the time it's because the color is discontinued. And it's the reality of it is that some colors are selling more than others. And I think it's very brave for a huge company like Swarovski to be like, this color did not sell, but we're not wasting it. We are asking designers if they want to do something out of it. And it's kind of like what we did with our collaboration with Louis Vuitton. It was the same. I feel like it was very unexpected because they asked us to do a collaboration of shoes with them. And they were like, we have all those leftover leather, and it's beautiful leather. what do we do? Are we wasting them, or are we asking a young designer to make a collaboration with us? You know, I think it's very brave for those huge company to be transparent. Yeah.
No, totally. I had a question, actually, just, we don't have a huge amount of time, but just your point about stylists and the importance of stylists. I think that's really, really something that we haven't really touched on this week at all. But you're right, you know, they have so much power and influence, and increasingly, you know, the stars on the red carpet are wanting to send the right message through what they're wearing. So I thought that was a really, really good point. Do you find, are you getting that message from the stylists that you work with, that this is something that is more in demand?
Well, I had a lot of interviews recently because also of the situation, and it is something that is on demand. But what I find the most beautiful is that they reach out to me on Instagram and say, "Oh, thank you for the dress. You made me realize that a beaded gown can be sourced well too." And I'm more like, "Well, thank you for dressing your celebrity." But you know what I mean? I think there's a human side that is coming back, you know, because we are all, obviously, it's a Fashion Revolution Week. We're talking about this subject because we are all aware of it, but touching people that are not particularly aware of that, for me, I don't want to say we won, but we kind of did, because we educate, I don't like these words, but you know what I mean? We teach someone that a beaded dress can be sourced well too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and their work, literally, they are dressing the celebrities, not the celebrity going on Instagram, you know? So, yeah.
And just one final point, you talked about matches picking you up right at the beginning and catching the eye of Natalie Kingham, their buyer. You know, matches are doing a lot in this space. How supportive have they been of you?
I mean, they're the best partner, I would say, because we have been building our relationship for 6 seasons now. And I think they really are aware of what I'm doing. And yeah, do you know they have an innovator program, and that's how I started Germanier. It's with their innovator program. They really are, they will not ask you to change your aesthetic, which sometimes in the beginning, maybe they will, you know, some buyers would ask you, "Oh, can you make it all black?" But then what's the point, you know? So I think they also have hashtag checking in on Instagram right now. So they ask me, "How's your grandma?" And then I share the pictures. So, you know, they're really involved. And obviously, from Natalie to everyone that is working on matches, they're a close partner. And that's also, for me, the future of fashion, is that those partnership, yes, it's business, but at the end of the day, it also has a human side, you know? So I think it's quite positive. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. One very last question, very quick. Can you remind us of the name of the Dead Stock store in Paris? Is it open to the public? Can you give us the name?
Yeah, it's a Marché Saint-Pierre. That's the area. And then it's Sacré Coupon. I can write it down. Sacré Coupon. It's one of them. If you go...
Yep, sorry.
Yeah, I wrote it. Oh, sorry, I wrote it in private. Here's Sacré Coupon. But it's all on the street. Make sure it's the right one, because sometimes you can really ask how many stock you have, and if they say, well, they have a 2,000 million stock, then it's not that stock. But yeah, it's a really good. I really recommend Sacré Coupon. Yeah, and obviously the price is very competitive.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Kévin. Honestly, what an informative, sparkling morning. Thank you very much for joining us. And yeah, it's been great. Thanks, Kévin.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.